Yo, welcome back to the Nerds with Glasses podcast, your number one gaming podcast on YouTube. I am your host, Knowledge.
And I'm Javi. Guys, make sure to check out our GLP app in the App Store in the Google Play Store.
Yeah.
If you have Android.
You can just search GOP. It'll be probably the second or third. You'll see our logo. It's the little kid sitting in front of the TV. Poltergeist, yeah. I love that logo. Shout out to the person who took that picture. I don't know who you are, but I love you. Yeah, you can download our app. We have all our game movies, uploads, GOP TV, all our social media attached to there. You can watch the videos there. It's easy and convenient. If you love the channel, love watching our stuff, our podcast is there and everything too.
Yes.
So check that out. All right, this week, before we get...
First thing we need to talk about, we've been gone for a while, but we need to at least mention it, if anything.
And you know what? Shout out to Javi for doing the podcast, even though he's under the weather still. Yeah. But he wanted...
We had to get it done.
Yeah, we had to soldier on. Yeah, so there's two big trailers that came out. The first one was the Civil War trailer.
Marvel Civil War.
And I know we're late on it, but we wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, this was definitely much better. Like, none of the trailers before... Granted, it's always one of those things you never wanted to tell you too much.
Yeah.
But this one we got to look more at what the teams are. We got to look at Ant-Man, which I loved it. With that shot with him through the arrows. You know, on top of Hawkeye's arrow, loved it. We got to see finally Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, which is of course the reveal.
The biggest reveal. But for me, honestly, the most impressive thing I think was Black Panther.
Yeah, okay. Looks awesome. He looks sick.
He was outrunning motorcycles.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like a fucking beast.
There was one scene where it literally looks like a helicopter shooting, like maybe not to him directly, but he's in the line of fire and the bullets are just bouncing off.
Yeah.
You know, he's the prince of, I can't remember the place, or he's like the ruler or whatever, I forget, but he's extremely rich.
Yeah.
He has something to do with the metal that, what's it called? Captain America's shield is made out of.
Yeah.
So easily could be part of the suit of his suit. He looks amazing.
He looks really cool, and it's cool that obviously they're putting a lot of work into him, I think, because they already announced that they're going to do a movie on him.
It's been announced a while back when we got that whole timeline of all the movies coming out.
And it's going to be directed, I believe, by Ryan Coogler, the guy who the director who made Creed and Fruitvale Station.
Really? Okay.
And he's a really good, like,
wasn't Michael B in that one as well? The other movie.
Michael B. Jordan in both. Yeah.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, they're
really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I ever since I saw Chronicle, I've loved Michael B.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and he's amazing in Creed. So yeah, he looked great. Of course, the thing everybody's talking about is the Spider-Man reveal, and especially the fact that it seems like he's on Iron Man's side.
Right.
But I don't think that they would reveal that
this early.
Like this early, I feel like almost like they're setting you up for a flip, or I don't know. It just seems like there's gonna be a lot more to that.
Right, and of course, if you know the comics, you know Spider-Man starts off with Cap. With Iron Man, and then realizes that that's not good, and changes sides.
And he seemed from his voice. He's young. He seems really.
He's definitely like beginning high school.
Yeah, so it's definitely the younger interpretation of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and I feel like somebody who can be more easily manipulated into doing something. So
yeah, and of course, he definitely stole the show.
Yeah,
by far out of anything in the trailer. But for me, honestly, like I said already, was the Black Panther, and then the whole Ant-Man. We haven't seen him at all. There was always that joke, like, he's in every scene because, he's small. But I'm glad that they showed us just him. Even if it's just him running alongside the Caps team,
It just looks sick. Did they also revealed, or it was late, the running time of the movie?
You're right.
But we don't have that on hand, but I know it was really long. Like Batman versus Superman.
147, I think?
Yeah, so that's 2 hours and 27 minutes.
Yeah.
So because the reason I say that, because especially with this trailer, they show a lot more of the other characters again, like you were saying, and I wonder what's gonna distinguish this movie from it really being because I've heard them say like this is a Captain America movie, like this is not the Avengers 2.5. Yeah, like this is a Captain America movie. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna balance that, and a lot of that's gonna have to do with time. The longer, the more chance they can put other stuff in. Of course, the worst part would be for me is if they if they underdo everything. Like, they try to do too much, you end up not doing anything at all.
And so far from the trailers, I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know, we see the explosion in the beginning where Black Panther's character is at, and that's a UN thing.
Yeah.
Which we've seen before. We see Crossbones, which is a villain, but I don't think he's the main villain.
Yeah.
Because obviously, so by the looks of it already, if we're going by villains to Captain America, or at least antagonists.
Yeah, that's the right word.
Right, just making sure. It's going to be, you know, I'm assuming Crossbones.
Yeah.
What's his name? Iron Man, obviously, because they're going to be fighting.
Of course.
And then there's also, I forgot the general's name, but a general from Hydra is also going to be one of the main villains. So, you know, I don't know if they're just going to kind of like brush over two of these and go into one. You know, that's what they could do. Yeah. They might brush over both Crossbones and the general and mostly focus on the civil war between them. Or they might brush over the civil war, you know.
Yeah. So... We'll see. Yeah. We'll see because that's my main concern. You just mentioned a bunch of characters that I didn't even know what I mean. So like that's the whole the X-Men 3 dilemma where it's like you put all the best characters in there, but the movie ends up because you don't focus on one thing, and especially with Captain America, because I think both of his individual movies have been the best ones personally, yes. Other than maybe like Iron Man 1, which is really good too,
and that's because it was, you know, obviously the first one.
Yeah, but especially Winter Soldier is like one of my favorite movies in the past 5 years. I think it's amazing. I saw it a couple times in theaters. Every time they give it on TV, I'll watch it. Yeah, you would watch it. Yeah, and part 1, which I didn't watch till recently, I
told you probably my favorite of the first set of movies they had, by far. And which was ironic because everybody thinks it's the worst one, but I actually, after watching, I was like, this movie is really good. It's the most unique one by far. You can't even argue that. Yeah, like it's the most unique one, even if you don't like it. Like and I think it just could be, especially with the way they're going with Steve Rogers and Captain America this time. His character is really interesting. Yeah, because by the time we see Avengers, we already see him changing. You know what I mean? Because he goes into it like thinking Shield is, or not, maybe not thinking Shield is good, but you know, kind of like that soldier mindset where like the government does no wrong kind of thing. Off the first movie, you know. And then in this one, we see it go even further because when the general's talking to him, like he just like he cares more about the people around him than like what's going on there.
Yeah, you definitely see a full transformation. I think that's what we'll see here. Yeah, the situation he's in is dire, and I don't know. I'm just interested. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. But that's if I had any concern, it's they might be trying to do too much.
Right. Definitely.
But we'll see. We'll definitely see midnight or 8 p.m. now. Like Thursday 8 p.m.
I think 7 o'clock.
But and that one comes out May 6th.
7th. Let me check 7th. May 6th.
Okay, so, May 6th. Yeah. So that's close. Okay, the second trailer for another huge franchise.
Yeah, this was like one of their, I think their last trailer probably up until the movie comes out was for X-Men Apocalypse. Yes. I've been a huge fan of X-Men, obviously. Yeah. But this trailer similar to how this one was, and we mentioned in the beginning, it shows a lot more of the characters. Yeah. You know, it shows a little bit of Nightcrawler, which I was just hoping it's going to be, like, I just hope they do that scene from X-Men 2. The beginning scene from X-Men 2.
When he attacks the president.
That's it. Like, I just want something like that, because that was the best scene of the whole movie.
As a matter of fact, just put that scene in there again, and, like, just have it as, like, a flashback scene of, like, what happened in the...
A flashback of the future.
Of the future of a different timeline.
And I love the look of pretty much everyone, especially the Four Horsemen.
Yeah. Dude, and Apocalypse looks fucking sick.
Yeah, now that we see him more, he definitely looks... Because I remember early on when I saw the first couple trailers, they didn't show him a lot. Yeah. They just showed, like, his outline, you know? Yeah. And he looked like he just literally was, like, a guy with, like, how do you say, like... not cardboard, styrofoam. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when we saw this trailer, we got to see his transformation. Yeah. You know, his actual, like... I guess becoming whatever he is. Yeah, whatever it is. And it just looks a lot better now. Yeah. You know, which, you know, great job on them. Oscar Isaac, is that his name? He's the same person that plays Poe Dameron. I can't remember his name, but he's gonna probably do amazing.
And anybody who watched the shows, and this funny is right
Jubilee?
now they're talking about like, you know, there's all these memes now about only 90s kids know whatever, but like this is truly like only if you're a 90s kids, because early 90s is the X-Men cartoon.
The cartoon, one of the best cartoon series ever.
And I think a lot of the fans now from that generation come from the cartoon. Of course, there's the comic book fans, but I like the best.
Just like the Spider-Man fans, they come from
that early era.
Batman.
They had all the Superman. Like they had all the superhero
on lock
animated series, and they're all really good. But the X-Men one, the best by far to me, was always the Apocalypse. The Apocalypse Saga, and of course the Phoenix Saga was amazing too. But the Apocalypse Saga was so good.
They screwed that up so bad in the movie.
Yeah, they did. And X-Men 3 was terrible. They completely changed like who Phoenix was and where it came from and all that. But yeah, Apocalypse Saga in the animated series was amazing because it really did feel. They always did a good job of like bringing you the next villain that you always like this stronger than the one before.
Like Dragon Ball Z.
Like Dragon Ball Z. But like this one always is like Apocalypse is the one. Like that's it. There's nothing more.
Even the ones that came after him.
It doesn't matter. Like
slight work.
It's always like it's like we've Apocalypse. Like,
granted, they always mess up still, but it's because they underestimate. But whatever.
So that I'm pumped up for the movie. I thought. Yeah, they all looked amazing, dude. And Storm looked fucking
with that lightning bolt one. That just, I mean, because her look in general is really good. Yeah. But when that lightning bolt hits and she pops out, that was probably my favorite shot of the thing.
Yeah. So who plays Storm? It's not Halle Berry, is it?
No,
right? It's a young girl.
Yeah, because we're no longer looking at the future. Like we're not looking at the, I guess, present day.
No, I get that, but I mean, still, like they might have cast her again, but obviously, I guess she'd be too old.
Yeah, definitely.
So explain that just to make everything clear, because I was confused about that too. But so of course, in Days of Future Past, it's kind of like. It's almost like a restart.
Yeah, it's basically like, them wiping the slate.
Yeah, and starting over. Mm-hmm. And I guess everything's done. All those characters never happened.
They did. They are still, you know, we still have the characters. They're just obviously not being played by the same actors. Yeah. Because we have Cyclops, Scott Summers, little kid. You know, we have Jean. We have all of them. Yeah. Pretty much. But I guess we're going to be introduced to new ones that we didn't see. Yeah. And the way they kind of fixed that was like they changed something. Yeah. So that's why they're able to do this. You know, that whole time thing, which is always confusing. Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, we missed out on a lot of characters that we remember from the cartoon, at least, like Jubilee, you know?
You think there's going to be Cable in this? Because Cable plays a huge role in the
because he's Scott and
Jean's something
great grandson.
Yeah,
he's a grandson of them.
Yeah, and he's a mortal enemy of Apocalypse. Like he's chasing. That's his entire life's work is to try to stop Apocalypse. You know?
I mean, I don't know if they would introduce. I didn't see them introduce him.
But do you think that can be some something that they have in their pocket?
Definitely. You know? I mean, it would be awesome. Yeah. And then they could work it into Deadpool.
That's true.
I mean, it wouldn't have to be the same character. They already did it with Colossus.
I like the way you're thinking here. Know? This is good.
This is a good way. Because if anything, then what if... I mean, this would be a good way to introduce Cable to everyone. Yeah, yeah. And then, because I'm sure no one knows Deadpool comic like Cable. I mean, not no one, but not many people know.
Not like the mainstream fans.
Like, they don't know about the Cable and Deadpool runs.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And that would be, I mean, in the end of the Deadpool movie, we heard it's like, it's going to include Cable.
Yeah, he's going to be in there. You know? Maybe he gets stuck in the past or something. His time machine.
Exactly. I mean, they don't even have to follow anything, you know, together. It's just going to be... as a way to introduce him, because obviously Deadpool is his own thing.
Yeah. It looks amazing. May 27th, coming out. Last question about these two. What are you more pumped up about?
That's really hard. Honestly, just for the fact that it's Fox still running the show, I'm going to give it to Captain America. Obviously, also because Captain America has been my favorite of the Marvel pretty much movies besides like Guardians.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you too. Just because the same reason, like They made it X3. That's all. Like, they made Fantastic Four. Like,
twice. No, twice.
3 times. So even though the X-Men movies have been good, you never know. Mm-hmm. You never know. But they're gonna both be good, I think.
Yeah. Definitely.
So more pumped up about Captain America, both of us. Can't wait to see them. We'll talk more about them when they come out. Yeah, I'm sure we'll do like a whole, probably for each one we can probably do a whole.
Yeah, because they come out like 3 weeks apart, kind of.
Yeah, and they're gonna, for sure, there's gonna be so much shit going on in the movie. There's gonna be plenty different like plot lines to talk about where things are going and whatnot. All right, but now we're gonna get into the regular podcast. We just really wanted to go over that really quickly.
Yeah.
The first thing this week, which I thought was interesting, was this Xbox. They routinely, Microsoft and Xbox, they do these surveys, fan surveys.
I think this was on this specific survey was on Reddit. If I'm not mistaken.
But from Xbox, exactly. Not Okay, but what they asked is, would you be interested in returning or getting money back from a digital game?
Yeah, basically the way they worded it is selling your game for 10% of the price.
Yeah.
Which all it is really a really late refund for 10%.
Yeah. Or I wonder, so my question is, would you do that? Would you, any game, like, would you return it for 10%?
No,
not one.
Like I hardly do it with regular games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But you would get more money for that, even if you did.
So I think I got. Granted, this was really late. Yeah. But I got 50 cents for like Gears of War.
Yeah. But that's really, really late.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's one of those things. When I was reading this, I thought it was kind of dumb. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, granted. I guess I don't have many games in my library that especially digital, because with digital you can't return that I buy unless it's Steam. Unless we're talking Steam,
Yeah.
Because I buy way more games on Steam, but they're on like $2. They're like less than $1. How can I not buy it?
Yeah. No, I get you.
But there hasn't been a game that, especially on the Xbox store, for example, or even the PlayStation, where the sale is good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Titanfall was probably the best sell I've seen in a while.
$10 for the all DLC.
Would you sell that back?
Of course not. No, why would I? For $1?
I think Plants vs Zombies was $5 at one point.
Yeah.
You don't play Plants vs Zombies, but if you did buy it.
See, yeah, you bring up a good point, because I think you're dead on in the fact that, like, if I bought it digital, is more likely that I really wanted it because I knew that I was gonna be playing it, and
like I said, this isn't Steam.
Yeah. So I wouldn't buy, just like a Darkness 2 or something like on digital. Like maybe I would have loved that game, but I would have probably like rented it first from back in the day, or tried it at a friend's house or whatever. But I think that's an interesting thing that they're introducing. 10% is not enough. I don't think not many people will do it. Some people would, of course, but not many people. My number is like 50%.
Right, which I was thinking that's like
way too high.
There's no way they're doing it. They would do something like maybe 20 to 25.
Yeah.
At the most,
Yeah.
But so we were having the discussion a little bit before that,
would you convince me at 25 though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like yeah. But this would basically mean that, what games would you return? Especially with the Xbox market not having so many. I guess it does have a lot of indie games, but we don't buy them.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people that buy indie games a lot, they wouldn't probably want to return them if they didn't.
Yeah, no. I see it more as like, you probably would do it for a game like, let's say, like Mortal Kombat. If, for example, like, let's say I hadn't bought the DLCs yet.
Yes, that would be
okay. So I'm like, you know what? Let me sell my Mortal Kombat for 50% back, and then get XL. You know what I mean? It might end up being cheaper.
Season pass, and that would be completely smart. I mean, that would be smart, but I don't know if that's the route they want to go, because it doesn't seem worth it for them. Granted, we don't know the numbers.
That's the main thing, is that we don't know the numbers at all. So I was bringing up this. This is complicated, but I was bringing up this fact. Okay, Microsoft, let's say Halo, 343 Industries and Microsoft, they sell their game to GameStop in bulk. They sell them thousands of copies so that GameStop can sell copies to us, right? How much does GameStop pay for each individual game?
Because they have to make a profit.
They have to make a profit. But there's no way that they just sell them for Microsoft.
Granted, I forgot where I had read, but most of their money comes from the used games.
Okay.
Because they don't have to, obviously they don't pay anything on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Besides the money that they paid off. But they pay like, almost nothing sometimes for games.
Okay, so I wonder then, but even so, like, how much do they pay for each individual game? My guess would be like at the most $40 for a new $60 game. What would you say?
Probably there 40, because 50 seems way too high.
Yeah, because then like you're not making shit because you got to consider how much you pay your employees, your rent on the place, whatever. So my point is they probably sell them for $40 for a physical copy. So like my point is if they refund you 50%, you get $30 back, and you want to buy a new game, you still got to pay another $30 to get the new game. So it still benefits them because they're basically they're giving you like a little breadcrumbs and saying like, here's some money, because it's like kind of like when you go to like like Vegas or something, and they give you free money to play. They know that you're gonna fucking lose the money anyway. Like you're not just gonna you can't take the money and run, but even if you could, you wouldn't, So I guess without knowing the numbers, we can't really say. But I'm sure, like, dude, for certain games, like I would do like 25% even, like for certain games. I don't see why they can't just have that as an option.
One of the things I was thinking is, granted, I don't think they would ever do it because it seems even like a less business savvy way to do it.
Yeah.
But Steam does this thing where you can like return a game after purchasing it. I don't know.
But you have to have only played it, I think, like 2 hours or less.
Was that the requirement?
Yeah, like you get a refund on the game. Because you can say, like, okay, I don't like the game, but you can only have, like, 2 hours of game time on it. Because if you play more than that, it's just kind of like you trying to fuck over the system.
Trying to, do that whole GameStop thing, get it for 7 days.
That'd be sick if they do that.
That's what I was thinking. Something like that. Obviously, yeah, it would have to work something like that where it's like, you buy, like, I bought this game recently. Not that I'm going to return it, but it's not something I would play very often. It's a... What is it called? I forgot what it's called. But basically,
The Division? No,
I didn't buy it digital.
No, I know.
I forgot what it's called, but it's like you're a little girl and you're walking and she's blind.
Yeah.
And the way you see the world is kind of by sound.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful little game, but if I had the chance to return it, I probably would.
Because you're probably not gonna play it that much.
Right.
Yeah. See. Well, I don't see. That's a different topic, but I think they should do that. I think most people won't. Because most games you're not gonna get the experience in 2 hours. You know what I mean? And obviously, I think they have to. If it's like an indie game, some indie games are like only 2 hours long anyway. True. So maybe they have to do like 25% of the game or something like that. Yeah. Who knows? But I don't know. I think it's an interesting possibility. And if they started doing it, I know I have a couple of games in my library that I would like for 25%. I would do it. Like I have like Tomb Raider.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have like Tomb Raider. I love the game. Played it, beat it. Not gonna ever play it again. You know.
The other thing I was thinking of was, what it like, just things like let's say you buy codes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the code for like, less than you would.
Yeah.
Like, so let's say you get a code for a game that's still $40 in the store, but you can pay less than the 10%.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So then you can kind of make a little business out of it.
Right. And then how would the free games with gold work? I'm sure they have a record and have that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have.
But I'm just curious how that would work because you still purchase the games technically.
Yeah. No, I'm sure they would.
Of course. They
would have that on lock, and then as far as like the third party codes, like if you buy it on G2A for for like $5 and you get like $10 back or whatever. I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think it matters.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah, just because like it doesn't matter to them where you got the code. Right. Somebody paid for the fucking code, or somebody
didn't pay for it.
Or somebody got it somehow, even whether through but.
And then just the other thing I was thinking of was shit. What was it? So what if I, for example, have Tomb Raider I had bought it and then it becomes gold, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Will I not be able to return it because now it was free?
Yeah. I mean, as long as it's on your record that you bought it, they should be able to track that.
Right.
You know?
And I'm just curious how many steps they would have to do because of that. You know?
Yeah. Obviously, it's on their minds because they put it in the survey. I don't think it's something that they're just kind of getting feelers and see how people think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But speaking of like, you know, surveys and I guess just throwing shit out pretty much. Xbox kind of like, I guess it was a little jab at PlayStation, you could say.
This is the ultimate of the console wars, and like it's funny because they're being so polite to each other's faces, but I think in the back room some Sony executive flipped his fucking table over when this came out. So Xbox announced that they're gonna open up their network basically for the possibility of crossplay,
which
with,
is just
with other networks.
Yeah, which is really honestly just them saying like, you know what, if it's possible, it's there.
Yeah,
they didn't say they're doing it.
Yeah,
because it's up to the developer and everything. Like the articles, you know, like it doesn't matter if they open it up. If the developer doesn't do it, there's nothing there.
Exactly. So this is why this is fucking. I love this because on so many levels. For one, the possibility of Xbox One players being able to play PS4 players, that's the dream.
Like PlayStation both PlayStation and Xbox have had some kind of connectivity with PC games.
Yeah, they've had crossplay with PC games, so everybody knows it's possible. It's just a matter of doing it, and you know. And like the fanboys have been talking shit for the past 10 years. Like I know kids in Modern Warfare 2 would have loved to play against PS3 and Xbox.
I would love to play against people.
I would go back right now and play just to be able to play against PS3 players and assert the dominance. but
now that Call of Duty is part of PlayStation, Mike, it might be different.
Still, nah. But that possibility in itself is very enticing, and it makes you think like, oh, that'd be great. But the truth is, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Maybe, honestly, what if Rocket League does it? Rocket League is. I mean, I don't know if it's just a coincidence that with the release of the Xbox version of Rocket League, that's when they decided to say that. Yeah. I'm sure it's not a coincidence. Yeah. But that game, that's a perfect game.
It's just such a good game and such an easy game for you to pick up and play.
And then it's. I mean, we're pretty much just promoting Rocket League at this point, but it's amazing.
It's an amazing game. Buy the game, everybody. $20. It's the best $20 you'll spend on any game in the whole year. But yeah, I love this on so many levels. Like I said, for one, the actual possibility of it happening is enticing. But the second level that I love this on is it's a fucking brilliant piece of marketing by Xbox. Because what they did is they put the onus on PS4 to step up, on Sony to step up.
Just like Sony did a couple years ago.
Just like Sony did, like when Sony did the whole like, oh, you don't need DRM. Like they did that little commercial.
Yeah, it's not as powerful. Yeah. Definitely, this is not as powerful.
No, that because that was on such a public level where they did that little commercial where they're like, oh, you want to let your friend borrow the game? Here you go.
But we're just saying that this has similarities to that.
Yeah, but this is the same type of thing because Xbox knows that Sony doesn't want to do this, and Xbox doesn't want to do this either because they want to be exclusive of each other. But the point is, since they were the first ones to say it, they look like the good guys. Sony looks like the bad guys who are like, oh, I don't know, we don't really want to do that. And Xbox makes it seem like, oh no, we're open to whatever other closed networks, we'll open them up, you know. And they were really smart to not even, they didn't even mention PS4. They said crossplay with PC and any other like platform, you know, and everybody knows what the fuck they're talking about.
They're not talking about Wii U.
Yeah, like they're not talking about the Amazon Kindle Fire or whatever. I don't know what was the other fucking consoles, the Iowa or the Ouya or whatever.
Yeah, but that was a movie.
Yeah, like they're talking about Sony PlayStation, and they put all the fucking public pressure on Sony to respond. And the funny thing is, when they did respond, it was exactly what you expected, which he was just like, oh, well, it's up to the developers, and there's a lot of technical stuff that goes to it, you know. Like, of course, they didn't straight out say no, but they're pretty much saying like, no, like no, we're not fucking doing that. We're not gonna share networks with Xbox Live. It's not happening.
Ours can't keep up.
Yeah. Just kidding. So like, I just thought it was brilliant. I think it's brilliant. The possibility of it happening, I would give it maybe like a 5% chance.
Yeah, because I don't think. I mean, one of them would engulf the other if this were to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One would just destroy. Like one would engulf the other.
You mean like one company will engulf?
Like one system, like you know, because I mean, if I can, it's one of those things. Like I guess it's always like you can play with your friends, but if it would be one of those things like you don't have to choose anymore then.
Yeah, yeah.
But I still think people would choose.
Yeah, see that's the third part of this that I feel like I don't think they have anything to lose by doing it, because either way, if you really did want to choose, you're gonna choose because of the exclusive games and the features.
True.
Right? So like,
yeah, I guess.
What difference does it make? If anything, it helps them out as a collective, because a lot of times you'll have like friends who are on the PlayStation 4. Let's say you haven't upgraded yet, and you're still on like Xbox 360, and all your friends went to PlayStation 4, but you don't want a PlayStation 4, so you end up not upgrading, right? But now, let's say you can get on the Xbox One and play Black Ops 3 with your friends on PlayStation 4. Why not? Like, why not do it? You know?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But like, so I think that it's one of those things where if they were to actually come together, it would actually help the entire gaming industry to grow. And I still think that they don't lose their core audience. Okay. Obviously, Xbox is Halo players, Gears of War, Forza, so forth.
Gran Turismo on PlayStation.
On PlayStation, Gran Turismo,
Uncharted,
God of War, Last of Us. Like, you still have each side core player. You know, like you have different players playing. So I don't know. I don't really see a downside. Okay. I don't know. Maybe there is. I'm just not thinking.
You're too much into the high of the fact that you can play this PlayStation.
And the thing is, I own both consoles, so it doesn't matter to me either way. Too. So yeah, I guess we're the wrong people to ask, but you know, it's a win-win. I think if they were to actually do it, but no, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna happen. But staying on with PlayStation, there's been a lot of rumors from very strong sources coming out the past week about a PlayStation 4.5, quote unquote, coming, meaning that it's gonna be an upgraded PlayStation 4 that has like better CPU and graphics, and that is gonna be able to play games at 4K. Right now, it can play videos on 4K, but it can't play games on 4K. Right. Do you think if this is true, do you think it's a good idea for them to do that, or is that gonna divide their player base?
I don't know.
And by the way, there's been rumors that the Xbox has been thinking about the same thing.
It's gonna be one of those things like, are they gonna like? Obviously, you can trade in, and pay the difference, you know, that kind of stuff. But
are they gonna have like an upgrade, like
Supercell? Because if not, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, I mean, granted, the Wii U wasn't an upgrade, but everyone thought it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is one of the reasons it didn't sell that well,
right.
I think.
So, I mean, is this going to be, like, are they going to start making exclusive games? Like, the 3DS has the new 3DS, which plays different games.
Yeah, there was, what was it? Xenoblade Chronicles was
only playable on the new 3DS.
Yeah.
You know, so is that are some games only going to be able to be on the PS4.5 because they can handle it better?
Yeah. I think it's a good question because, I mean, first, to get it out the way, this is different from Slims. Like, because it's been a common practice for the past, like, 20 years to come out with kind of a new iteration. Smaller. Has the same hardware, but maybe has new ports, smaller and whatnot. Like the Super Nintendo had one, you know what I mean? Like the PlayStation 2, the PS3 Slim, the Xbox 360
the black
Slim.
Xbox Slim was the best one.
Yeah, so this is not new to come out with a new iteration, but what we're talking about here is not only like a new iteration, but an actual upgraded console.
I'm trying to remember some bad things about the new iteration was like the Wii, the newer Wii's didn't have the
backwards compatibility.
Not just that, the GameCube support.
Okay.
GameCube color support. Yeah. Okay. It's just like
yeah.
What the fuck?
And the same thing with the PlayStation 3 Slims. Like they took off the PS2 backwards compatibility on the new ones. And
did Xbox do that as well?
No.
But they changed it a little bit.
Because the thing about the Xbox One is that it ran through all these patches that allowed the emulator to play it. But I think the PlayStation 3 had an actual chip, had like the actual PlayStation 2 thing on it. Which
had the reader.
It actually had the actual, like, yeah. So it's different from that. It's not the same thing. And
according to the rumors.
According to the rumors, I think it would be a bad idea if they didn't have some sort of like
super good trade-in
like system where if you had all your stuff still and it was in good condition that you would get like a fucking $200, you know, like I don't know.
I want to pay $100 for the new system if I give you mine.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of thing.
And if it's like an attachment, I don't know if that would work because that they've done that before with like the Sega 32X.
I think they need to like stay away from the upgrade thing.
Yeah. Like
that's the whole thing about consoles. We don't want to upgrade.
Yeah, we want them static. This is it. So if this is a new console, this is not the PlayStation 5. No, it's a 4.5 or whatever they'll call it. And just history tells us that this doesn't work. As far as like the Sega 32X, the Nintendo 64 the CD drive they had, the DD or whatever it was called.
I remember it.
Yeah, like they actually had a CD expansion, and of course you don't remember it because it was a fucking failure. Like, you know, because people don't want to buy new attachments for it. So if they don't have some sort of upgrade program that's really good,
the only attachment I've ever bought was the GameCube Game Boy Advance adapter. Yeah. Where you would plug into the bottom of your GameCube and you would be able to play Game
and
Boy
that makes
Advance.
Perfect sense because that's a whole different thing. So I mean I would get that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like if you were really into Game Boy Advance games, you're like,
what? Like, why are you even asking me? Like, here's my credit card. I'm walking away. Like, just like charge it whatever you want. Like,
the only thing that sucks is I lost the disc, and you can't find that anymore. Unfortunately, but you know, when I had it, that shit, playing Pokemon, playing my Mega Man Battle Network on the big TV.
Awesome. Fun, yeah. They had that for the original Game Boy too.
Oh, did they?
For the Super Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
You put it on, and then it's like a cartridge, and then you put the.
Oh, nice.
Play Pokemon, the original Pokemon on Super Nintendo.
Nice.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. Because like people, especially nowadays, like consumers get pissed over fucking like DLC. Like, you know, like now you're talking about you gotta pay.
Don't talk about DLC. On the podcast. Cut it.
It's a no deals in DLC zone.
Free DLC? No, still.
What? It's too late. They should have had the free DLC when the game came out. It was
launched. Yeah. I'm sorry these games aren't 64 megabytes anymore.
Yeah.
Like the game was done when it came out. It's like, no shit.
So funny. It's so funny to listen to like us, not just me and you, but us as gamers like complain about like, oh my god, like a fucking 4 gigabyte update. Like I'm gonna have to wait fucking 20 minutes for this shit. You know, like.
Well, I had a legitimate reason to complain about a 4 gigabyte upgrade.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, first world problems. That's all I'm saying. True. You know, you throw that out
3
there.
3 days, Mike, for 4 gigs.
Hey, that's your fault. That's not their fault. Like,
it's true.
Yeah, and the Xbox they've been talking about the same thing. I heard a rumor how they're talking about doing like an external GPU.
Okay.
To make it stronger. You know, like. I mean, in general, it's not a bad idea, but I don't think it would take off. I don't think people would.
Honestly, I think people don't care. We care, but
yeah.
People don't care.
You mean people don't care? It's like they're gonna
buy it.
You think they'll buy it?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think it would be a failure, and there's been plenty of failures.
There has.
So I don't know. We'll see. But 4.5 is on the way, and they can do 4K gaming. We will buy it. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like me and you will buy it. Yeah, we're suckers for that stupid shit.
But I'm just trying to think. Because you're right. Like I guess external upgrades, yeah, that won't work.
Yeah,
and that's what they're going with. But if it's an like upgraded PlayStation, people are gonna buy it. They're always buy the new version of it, even if it doesn't have the backwards compatibility.
Yeah. I mean, by that time, like, you don't care anymore about the backwards compatibility. Mm-hmm. Like, even now with the Xbox, now it's like, oh, now I have Black Ops 3, now I have Halo 5, Rocket League. Like, it's not like a couple months ago, I was like, man, I don't even have anything to play on this shit. Like, you know?
Yeah, but once they get like if they have, like, what is it? Red Dead was one of the top games. If they get that shit on backwards compatibility.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it will help. Yeah, it will help.
Borderlands, the first one just came on backwards compatibility.
Alan Wake just came. I mean, they got some good games on there. You're right. I'm just saying, like, usually by the time they come out with the Slims, it's like you don't even give a shit anymore. Like, you're like, you know, you're already into the next gen.
They're lucky Rocket League wasn't in fucking.
I know, right? No, one more thing is, like, I think the biggest thing about this is gonna be, like, the developers have to jump on and make their games 4K.
Yeah, because if they do it, they're gonna force both of them to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
So, like, if the developers jump on for one, and like you said earlier, is the exclusive games, that's gonna be a killer if they have, because people were fucking pissed off about that shit with the new 3DS. And there's a lot of confusion about people buying a game and not knowing that it didn't work on their 3DS. You know, like, that's something that can hurt you in the long run. Yeah, they can't do that. So I doubt they'll make exclusive stuff for it, but
you never know.
They definitely have to get developer support first and foremost. And that's where these rumors came out from the first place, is developers, like, leaking it, that they were notified that it's coming, you know. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Last thing, March 28th, Oculus Rift.
The day after Apocalypse.
Okay, no, March 28th. March 28th, not sorry. May. Yeah, so
this month. You're right.
So it's coming out in, what's today? The 19th, 18th?
20th.
It's the 20th. So only a couple more days.
Yes.
And the Oculus Rift is finally here. We've been hearing about this shit for like 3 years now, since the first Kickstarter, and like, it's come a long way.
But will it do anything?
Well, yeah. Final thoughts before it comes out. Is it going to be a hit, or is it going to be a bust?
I think it'll be okay. He'll do all right, but I don't think it's going to be a game changer.
You don't think it'll be a hit? Do you think it'll be like a slow and steady rise?
Yeah, I can see that. That's about...
You know what the big thing here is? Everybody talks shit about it, like, if they haven't used it.
That is true.
But I think, like, if you used it, then...
I mean, granted, it's one of those things, I've used it. Granted, I haven't used it for super extended periods of time.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I could sit and play any, like, Destiny, I'll sit and play for 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that with the Oculus.
Yeah, to have that, just to have the thing on, like, yeah.
It's going to be... I mean, granted, I don't know. I haven't played all the games, obviously, because it's not out for public use. But I guess I'm okay. I immersed myself enough already. I don't know how much more that would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I already know I wouldn't like controls with my head.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, it's just like, yeah, that's not for me.
I also just would be uncomfortable. Like, not that I'm kind of always like, I don't want anybody like behind me, like, you know, like I don't live in some secluded, like, where, you know, like, you're just in a room alone by yourself, and like you don't have to worry about anybody coming in or anything. Like, it just feels kind of weird. Yeah,
and my biggest thing is, unless I have a room just for the VR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think
the VR, that's gonna be a new thing. Like, this is the VR room,
right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Because like, I think we saw that thing where the chick was like walking on this thing that was around her waist, and the way it worked is she would slide on this thing, so it would feel like she's walking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and it would also capture movement.
Yeah,
that would be sick, you know. But granted, it's a one-person experience.
Yeah,
you know. I don't know how many scary games I like to play by myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just stuff like that, I don't know how well it'll translate.
True, but I do think there is an audience for that.
Definitely think there's an audience for it.
And I don't think it's going to be a bust, and the main reason is there's something to it. Like, if you've used it, there is something very unique.
Have you used it?
I used the Oculus Rift, and I just think that the main thing for me right now is that there's so many things coming after it too. This is not like the Nintendo Power Glove, where like that was the only thing you saw. You know, there wasn't like another Power Glove that came up after it. You know what I mean?
This is like
everybody's jumped on board already.
Yeah, and this is kind of like it's becoming like a controller for the Xbox.
Yeah.
Like Oculus is the Xbox controller.
Yeah.
And you have Mad Catz being the other V, like you know.
Yeah,
and all these other VR people. Coming
out so like
it's definitely just a peripheral.
Yeah.
Feels like at least.
Yeah. Although they do have 4 exclusive games.
Of course, yeah.
That are coming, which is going to be important to a success. Adrift looks like the best one to me. The one where they're in the space station that broke down. But yeah, I think that the fact that there's so many coming after it gives it a way bigger chance of success, because you have the Morpheus, which is a PlayStation VR, I think, right. And they renamed it. The HTC Vive, what was the Xbox one?
HoloLens.
The HoloLens, and there's 2 more I can't think of. Like they have several like that are already like in the works, like in production.
There was one I played at E3. I forgot what it's called. But it's also its own VR.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't think it's going to be a fad. I think that it's going to take hold, but I don't know if it's going to blow up either. I think that the audience might be too small for that. Because I know some, like me, I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to play on the Oculus Rift unless I had to.
There's another one.
What's it called?
Starbreeze, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go.
And they have The Walking Dead Overkill.
So,
Overkill's The Walking Dead.
So they got a bunch of VR out there. I think the Oculus Rift has been in production for so long, beta tested, people love it. So it's gonna be good, but is it gonna be a hit? No, I don't think it's gonna be a hit. At least not at first. Okay. You know, I haven't heard a lot of people talking about like, oh, March 28th. It's not like when the PS4, like you said, it's a peripheral anyways. It's not a console, but still, there's not like this super hype around it right now. I'm not hearing people talking about it all the time, right?
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah.
You didn't even know when it came. I was like, yeah, March 28th. This month.
Like, there's no games I care.
Yeah.
Like maybe like I'll play probably some of the scary games, you know, but that's it. Like,
yeah.
And I would like I don't know. I don't see me using much of it.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be up to them to figure out how to take like full advantage of what it could do. All right, guys, it's been a great podcast this week. We're glad to be back. Hopefully, Junior gets better sooner than later.
Nope.
I think I might be sick tomorrow just because I was sitting next to him this whole time. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.